Right now on Stay Tuned to Our Planet, we're talking red meat. For many Australians, it's an important part of their everyday life, and it was an important step in human evolution. So how much red meat are we supposed to eat? Australian dietary guidelines say it's an important source of protein as well as a range of micronutrients and fatty acids, omega-3s. It's recommended to have 65 grams of cooked lean red meat, or there are other daily sources. So the recommended 65 grams of cooked lean red meat works out to 455 grams a week. That's almost half a kilo per person. And here's the problem. The amount of emissions that come from meat production is huge. A single kilo of beef creates about 70 kilograms of emissions. On one hand, us humans kind of need to eat. And on the other hand, factory farming in the US generates 13 times as much sewage as the human population. So what do? Every step from transport to packaging to even cooking and waste disposal, all of it adds to climate change. So I found someone who might have the answer. It might not be the answer that you'd like, but it is an answer. Skye Blackburn is an entomologist and food scientist. She makes marshmallows, lollies, cookies, corn chips, brownies, and she makes bugs. Hi, Skye. So what kind of insects are we talking about here?
Hi, Matt. Well, we're talking about crickets and mealworms.
So if I want to forego the steak, am I going to be eating like 6,000 crickets? Am I just going by the spoonful?
Definitely not. You don't need to eat a lot of insects to get the nutritional benefits of the insects. And because they're more nutrient dense, you actually have to eat less of them. So if you have a tablespoon of cricket protein powder, that's actually 13 grams of protein in there. You're getting about 40% of your RDI of calcium, 40% of your vitamin B12, 30% of your iron, 100% of your magnesium and zinc, heaps of your omega-3s, and all 9 essential amino acids. You just mix it into your vegetable curry or your stir fry. You can have a cookie or a brownie, and you're actually getting your protein for the day.
Are you saying I can eat a cookie?
So you're still getting that treat that you really want, but you're feeding your body at the same time.
I'm scared to ask. How do you make cricket powder?
What we actually do is we dry out the insects, because all the good stuff is in their exoskeleton, which is the hard outside part of the insect. Then what we'll normally do is grind them into a powder, or we can extract oils from them. We can turn them into a paste, and we've got a milk product that we make as well that helps us to enrich the foods that you already eat with invisible insect protein.
If this is grossing you out, consider this. 2 billion people in 130 countries already eat insects. It's about to be 2 billion and 2. In Australia, the most commonly farmed insects are mealworms and crickets. However, more than 60 native Australian species of insects were traditionally eaten by First Nations people. We're missing out. But crickets and mealworms are great because they're fully grown in weeks, not years, and they can eat food scraps. What's it like inside an insect farm? I'm trying to imagine, is there like a cricket ranch?
We actually convert unused warehouse spaces into cricket protein farms, so that leaves all the arable land available to farm traditional livestock or grain or fruits and vegetables as well. We have these specially designed enclosures that we can stack on top of each other, kind of like little bug apartments, all the way from the floor up to the roof. So that means that we can get more protein per square meter than any other kind of protein.
What sort of impact would it have for climate change if we started eating bugs instead of steak?
When we're farming insects, it creates about 1/10 of the amount of greenhouse gases when compared to traditional livestock. And that's because insects don't burp and they don't fart, so they're not creating all that extra gas.
So for someone like me, say I want to burst my insect bubble, where should I start?
Definitely try something like a cricket protein corn chip or a pasta or even a granola where the insects are invisible, like they're hidden on the inside, so you wouldn't even know they're there. It's much easier for your brain to try new foods when it's in a familiar form. So for instance, if you're trying a corn chip, you know what a corn chip tastes like, you know what the texture should be like. So your brain is much more accepting of that new ingredient because it's a way that you would have already eaten it before.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. It's been amazing. I've learned a lot and I need to commit and get myself some cricket powder. Yeah. All right, so what are we doing? Make some brownies with cricket powder. See if your friends can tell the difference. You can tag us at STOP2030 or use the hashtag FutureFoods.